Where's Dave? Dave, we have mics for these guys? Yes, I do. Look at you. Get up for cousin Dave. Alberto, also, I love your jacket. I know it's nice. I know it's new, and I like giving people compliments on new things.
We're the same size, so we can use
Yeah, we are. You're the Mexican version of me.
I'm Alberto.
So just for comedy's sake, I was all stressed because I was late.
I know, I kept like looking for you to come in. I didn't see you come in. I was like, shit. He's not
Matter of fact, yeah. Actually, I was an hour and a half early to the Majestic
You
Theater.
should have got a tattoo, man.
I was an hour and a half early to the Majestic Theater in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
He said that to me on the phone, and I was like, no, it's Pottsville.
And he kept saying Gettysburg, and I was, it's Pottsville. But you made it.
So, why don't you tell the story of, so my version of how we met, from my side of things, was when we signed a wind-up, they said, make a list of your dream producers, and literally, Machine was number one, and we just ended up like bumping into him at a show at South by Southwest. It was the weirdest, most synchronous thing that's ever happened. And yeah, so he was like, we were like, what's your name? Because he came up to us and talked to us. And I didn't talk to him first. Brandon came up and said, dude, the Machine is here at our show.
I pulled out my phone, like literally pulled out my phone. I said, dude, look. And I showed him the notes of our top producers. Machine, top of the list. I mean,
And how
don't believe a man
how did you get to that show?
That's the best, from a producer's standpoint, the best story I could ever have. You know?
Does that one suck? Do you want to just use Brandon? Can you guys hear Machine? Just give him that one.
all right.
Yeah.
Dude, from a producer standpoint, the meeting of this band is like the best thing that could, the best story, the best thing that could ever happen. And I was almost gonna walk away and not tell you who I was. So, and Alberto was with me
Alberto
as
was there the whole time.
So I was going, it was like a South by Southwest, and I dragged Alberto with me, like, I'm gonna move to Texas, and I'm gonna bring Alberto with me, so he loves Texas. And I don't know who told me to go to a wind-up showcase. It was one of several events that I was gonna go to, or someone told me to go to. And for some reason, I can tell you why, another bonehead fucking move, like here. I was an hour early because I'd entered the time of the showcase in my calendar, New Jersey, and there's an hour difference. So I accidentally showed up an hour early. And then here's this band playing.
Yeah, because you were going to see another band.
Yes. I was told to go see some wind-up band that
so if you didn't put it in there, you wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
Another one. And so I mean, we walk up and we're just like, what is this? I was like, so into it. And I'm looking outward, I'm like, what is this band? Why don't we know about this band? They're so up my alley. I mean, just the grooviest thing, and these unique sounds coming from Bishop. And I'm like, why don't we know this? Like, Alberto's researching, it's like, they're small.
Yeah, there was nothing. We're like, is there a new band? Like, what's going on here? And I think the timing was great too, because so the guys are huge Clutch fans, right? And we just came out of doing Clutch. Rucker came out. It was a great album. So he comes to Brandon and he's like, "Whoa, you guys are awesome." It's like, "Wait, you're a Machine." It's like, "Yeah, we should work with you guys." They're like, "Yeah, fuck yeah."
I mean, Machine's done like some of my favorite records of
seriously.
Literally.
I just approached this kid, just to do the thing. I was like, listen, I just want to tell you, you're awesome and why I think you're awesome. And I was going to walk away, I was ready to walk away and move on. And Brendan's like, hey man, who are you? I'm like, yeah, Machine the producer. He's like, wait. No one gets stories like this from my perspective. You know, he's like, dude, he breaks out that phone and shows me that list and is like, hold on right there. Let me brings the label guy and brings in, and we were just, and then
we hung out all week after that.
and we did, and they were Clutch fans, and on that, just by total coincidence, they were big Clutch fans. I had produced Clutch. That very same night, Clutch was doing their big reveal showcase for Earth Rocker. I took them, we hung out, it was like, dude, it was like bro love. Total bro love from there on out.
Yeah, it was unreal. So thankful. We recorded that record in Jersey before you moved to Austin.
I do, I forget that.
I mean,
I
too.
associate everything Crobot in the barn in Austin, yeah.
Right.
But that's true. It was one of the, I guess, was it one of the last ones in Jersey?
No, this was about a year and a half before we moved. Yeah, it was 2012.
Alberto's like got old memory.
Oh, believe me, I know. And I don't know. Here's an interesting fact. So when we were recording that record, I hadn't had health insurance for God knows how long, right? And the stress of dealing with the brothers, and just everything. Recording the first real record of my life, I was having like tightness in my chest, right? And I was just like, I need to just go to the doctor and see what's up. So, you want to tell that story, Alberto?
Yeah, so I have to drive into the ER, right? Like, yeah, Manchester. I'm like, yeah, we should go somewhere.
I should have after all the bills, I should have just went to the urgent care.
Yeah. So we show up, and the moment that you said at an ER, somebody has chest pains, everybody freaks out, and they come out with like a wheelchair and stuff. It's like, who's the patient? Which is just like you're the patient.
Who knew I just had high blood pressure for 10 years. I feel fine, but they give me some medicine. Yeah.
The best part is we were complaining about the food because he spent the night there. So I come on the next morning and I'm like, do you want anything? He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm studying at Dunkin', so I come in with like a giant coffee and donuts.
Yeah. Like that's gonna help my blood pressure. Jesus Christ. That's my boy. He's got my back, What else happened? Oh, this is another weird thing. During that record, Wind Up got us a house to stay in Orange, New Jersey, and it just so happened to be the guitar player for Prince and Justin Timberlake, and his name's Mike Scott. Look him up. It's crazy. And we talked to his wife. He's like, "You guys are a band?" He's like, "My husband's in a band." And like they had a whole wall. He had a whole wall of like glamour shots of himself without a shirt and like a snake around his neck. It was wild. But yeah, like he's an awesome, phenomenal guitar player. Prince guitar player. We stayed in his Airbnb house for that record. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Lots of fun stuff, man. Lots of good memories.
For sure. One of my favorite ones was when we tried La Mano de
Oh Jesus.
So Bishop and I became close really quickly. We figured we have a love for guitar pedals, guitar riffs, taking shots, and we kept it back to the band. And this was one of those cases where we were just like, we're gonna track this song about the devil. We can't just track a song. We gotta do something, right? So we went to our local party city and just went absolutely crazy. Came back with all these candles and skulls and fake blood. And, we decided to paint our faces. We had a metal. Brandon's in the corner in a robe with a red mask holding a banana.
We'll post the photos of it. It's so silly.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
We'll repost it. It's the funniest stuff.
The shit kid was in the room and he's like, what is happening?
It was scary. Yeah, so that's how we tracked the one.
In costume.
Yeah, I had fake blood all over my body and my shirt off. It was so weird.
Oh, we make cookies. The shit pentagrams.
Yeah. Well, the way we recorded that record was we did pre-production, then we recorded a week of drums, a week of bass and guitar, and then vocals, and then last 2 weeks vocals, and then percussion, I think. And then, so once I was done with guitars, really, like, it was just sort of like have fun time after that. And that's when we tracked more on the vinyl, did like stupid videos, and we built some guitar pedals and stuff.
We tried, we destroyed like 3 pedals.
Yeah. It took us two tries. It's okay. Yeah, any other fun stuff that happened on that record you remember, Brent?
Again,
I resort to Bishop for the memories. But I do remember, I remember walking back and forth to that bodega, getting sandwiches, and I remember a story. So, when we were recording Something Supernatural, you know who was recording downstairs? Ice-T.
Yeah. Body count.
Body count. They were doing the body count record, and we're like, oh my god, that's Ice-T.
Coco's there with the dog.
Yeah. Coco came in, and I think somebody in our camp fed the dog, and the dog got sick, and now we're on Ice-T's hit list. So we might be the next victim in one of their new music videos.
We literally heard him go, "Talk shit, get shot." And I'm like,
Did he just say talk shit, get shot?
and then
all right, let's
song came
stay.
out, and we're like, dude, this is awesome. So good. So you guys have any questions? Anybody have anything? I don't care.
We got one right back there.
All right, I can't see. It's hard. Sorry. Just yell it.
What is each of your favorite Crobot songs?
Mine's probably right now probably metal.
Yeah.
Tribute to Lemmy, unofficial tribute to Lemmy. You know, we did that Motorhead tour. It was one of the last Motorhead tours, and he was very kind to us, even though he was really sick, and it was awesome. So mine's metal.
Well, on Something Supernatural, La Mano de Lucifer is very interesting, deep, and trippy and special. And then there's just Chupacabra. Which is like, right? I had kids around at the time, and that's just a fun, and my kids were freaked out on that song.
I love the percussion that you put in that. You brought up putting that in, and it reminded me so much of Blast Tyrants. Like Cypress Grove, that Clutch song where there's the percussion intro and there's those bongos in that song. It gives it a feel, a groove that is in that same sort of world.
For sure. And then I think my favorite song that I wasn't involved with was you played here was actually Gasoline. That was my favorite song on that record.
Yeah.
And as you remember when we did our video thing not so long ago, I brought that. I was like, we have to include that. We're gonna do another song just to include Gasoline because it's special.
Mountain is a big one just because it was so much fun. Like that, that EP kept us sane during COVID. We were doing a lot of that at my place. So I had a lot of fun memories for that. But also Calm Down on the next record. I feel like whenever I heard that song, it's like, okay, yeah, this was gonna be like a great record. Like everything came together and we finally got like the sound of the record. So yeah, that was very special.
It's like Alice in Chains vibes for sure. Something different for us.
I think from Something Supernatural, I think mine is it's probably Skull Geronimo. It's they say never put your highest note on record, and I'm just pretty sure that's my highest note. I can't go any higher than that. But I got to get like very conspiracy theory kind of go into that vibe. I love writing lyrics like that. But lately it's been From the Ground, and I think that song, when we got finished writing that song, to me I was like, all right, that's the quintessential Crobot song. It's like, it's got the Soundgarden vibes, but we kind of do our own thing with the grunge, tones, and it's just such a journey, and the dynamics are there, and it was just, for the first time we felt like back at those sessions with something supernatural, doing things the way exactly we wanted to do with somebody that we wanted to do it with, you know? And not to say that the producers in between us we didn't get along with. It was, you know, more label side of things, but
It was different. It was very different.
yeah, it was very different. And you know, with this latest record, From the Ground was just kind of like, bleh. Oh God, that felt so good. Oh, you know, and I just look at that as being the quintessential Crobot song.
That's my favorite too.
It's off the new record. That's my favorite as well. That one absolutely explodes out of the gate. It's, even live, it just seems to it's a wall of sound. But my favorite is Without Wings. That song starts one way and just you take off and you don't let up. It's pure chaos for about 4 minutes, and it's an absolute riot to play live.
We lost Pat. I turned around and looked at Pat. Pat's gone.
He went to the bathroom. Hey, yeah, he went to the bathroom.
Okay. What, any other questions?
If you got any other questions, guys? One here. And by the way, are we sound checking, guys? You didn't tell me.
Nah, just make Anthrophobia sound good. We're gonna be fine.
Guys, tonight was amazing. The acoustic jams were wonderful. Any chance we get any releases acoustically, whether a track or a whole album?
I would love to. But yeah, we're just gonna release this. We recorded it.
Yeah, surprise! You're being recorded.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a great idea. We've never really. I guess we did during COVID. We did a couple acoustic. We did Gasoline acoustic, but we didn't release it like officially. But then, you know, now we are on, you know, we're on Megaforce like a distribution deal, so we have the creative freedom to do whatever we want. So we can do that now. Yeah, and it's like so liberating to have those options, right? We've built this thing that we love, and you know, now we can just do whatever we want. If we want to take our time, we can. If we want to do 2 records a year, we can. You know, just have to get productive.
Got another question back here.
Okay.
My name's Demetrius. I like long walks on the beach now. Number one, thank you guys for being you and sharing your voices with us. Y'all have been a soundtrack to our lives, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
We love you, Dave.
One question for Crobot, one for Machine. Crobot, you've been very candid with some thoughts on A&R guys and stuff like that during your career. What's been the most valuable lesson you've learned through your career? And for Machine, what makes Crobot stand out from all the other artists you've worked with?
You know, mine's just, you know, trust your gut, right? Like, looking back, every decision, you know, my gut was, you know, I don't want to say that I'm always right because I'm not, but like at the very end of the day, like if you trust your gut and you're wrong, at least you have that, right? If you trust your gut and like, you know, and you are wrong, then it's just like that's a bad place to be in, you know? Because then it's just like, you know, why not do that? You know, if you just do what you're proud of all the time. That's my biggest lesson. I don't know if I said that right, but whatever.
It starts with fun, and it always ends with fun. If fun is not a part of it, none of you are going to have fun either. So if we're enjoying what we're doing, then there's a very good chance that's going to translate to y'all. And every time we go into the writing room, it's always, we're cracking jokes, and it's a good way to get the vibe going. And you have to keep that, you know, you try to stay 14, 16, whenever you started, whenever you first, you know, write your first riff and you get excited. If you stay excited and you keep it fun, then everything else will fall into place.
Amen.
There's a reason that 13 years later, we don't have to say anything to each other, because I was going to say trust your gut, but Bishop said that too, so. No, I think it's just, be authentic, trust your gut, and everything led us to right now, so I don't regret a single thing that we've done. We've learned a lot in a short amount of time, realistically, and we've been thankful enough to tour the world with some of the biggest bands and work with some of the best and biggest producers and names in the business. I mean, these guys to my left are real deal, like Grammy real deal. You know what I mean? Like these guys up here are legends, and they're our friends. Like it's just the coolest thing to be able to honestly like come back to Schuylkill County and have all of these things that have happened to us and reflect on them. And just understand that, we wouldn't be here right now if it wouldn't have been for everything that has happened before. So, I mean, just live in the moment and be authentic.
What was my question? What separates Crobot from the other artists you've worked with?
Good question.
I noticed this on that very first day about that wind-up showcase.
I think I remember.
Instantly hit me. I was like, all these classic great bands throughout history, it's not just about the singer, Van Halen, AC/DC. There was something also stand out about the music side. And when something's signature, usually there's a lot of samey bands, and a lot of people record a similar way, and so on and so forth. And then there's what differentiates bands is the singer, and we had that in Crobot. But in Crobot, we had a signature guitar player, like an Eddie, like an Angus, like some of the bands. Bishop absolute sound, and I would beat this into him. He has this, or Tom Morello. He has this signature thing he does with his pedals that I was just obsessed with. I was like, oh my God, this is fascinating, and we have to whore this out. It's like a DJ minded, the things he does with his delay. I'm like, and even after we stopped working together, I would still beat that into your head. That's really
a lot of
important.
producers try to take that out.
No.
Right, and that's what I would try to argue. Like, no, this has to be there. Like, it's sort of the thing, Like, octaves would try to be pulled out, delay interludes, and really trippy sections would try to be pulled out, and yeah. So
I'm always, as a producer, desperately looking for signatures, unique signature things that a band has, and it was hit me right in the face with this band. Like, oh wow, it's a full thing. It's signature styles vocalist and a unique, memorable, stylistic guitar player. You don't get that a lot. You get that in the classic bands, and I just knew that this band, if they wanted to stick with it, they could do this forever. And I knew that on day one. I was like, I'm down with that shit. Anybody else? I got one right here.
Hi, Crobot. You guys rule.
Thank you.
First of all, I don't live here. However, I've come up here for a bunch of shows over the years. And I want to say Rick, because he's here with us now.
Yeah.
And he helped cultivate a lot of us in the Crobot community.
That's Kevin, right?
Yeah, Kevin.
I can't see you, but I hear your voice. Hey, dude.
Question for Bishop, Dan, and Bishop, or Brandon, sorry. Since you could put out whatever you want to put out, going forward, if you did an EP, what's your guilty pleasure song you would want to be on that EP? You know what I mean? That you would never, that people wouldn't think about, that you might release.
Like a cover?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, guilty pleasure cover.
In Vogue? Freeman? Yeah. Yeah, dude, that song's like built for Crobot. Like the riffs in it, it's like the register of Brandon, but it's just, if you change the words, it's weird. And that song's all about being an independent black woman. You know what I mean? So that, I don't know if we can do it, but I guess we can. Good. That'd be nice.
Brandon, Dan.
I would say probably something from Rainbow. You know, you brought up my dad, and that would be the cherry on top of Ice Cream Mountain for my dad. You know, if we did Man on a Silver Mountain, he would shit a brick and it would land on all of us. So.
You know, we did a cover of Outshine for a while that we took out. I would really have to Crobot stand.
That's not a guilty pleasure. What about Blackpink? What about some K-pop? That's what we're talking about.
You know, I'd like to see. Let's do some Bruno Mars. I want to see. Let's do Uptown Funk and maybe the absolutely the funkiest, heaviest thing ever, and then just do your moves.
It was 24. Well, we're two better than Bruno, so we got 2 more carrots.
You guys want to do one more question?
Sure.
One more question. Right here.
So obviously, Pottsville is a very significant. It's significant for you guys. Is there any other cities that are significant to you guys?
Austin, me, Dan, and Pat are live in Austin now. East Tennessee. I'm from East Tennessee, Kingsport, so the Tri-Cities of Northeast Tennessee. Knoxville is where my family's from, so like that. And then we've got Madison, Wisconsin, which is where Dan's from originally. And yeah, so anytime we play those areas, it's a lot of fun, and it feels like its own little hometown thing because friends and family are there. But yeah, nothing's like here though. You know, because this is like where we make the most of our memories. So, yeah, and I'm very thankful to be back here.
And like the runner-up city, I think Alberto and I maybe had a little influence for that.
Oh yeah, I mean literally, I moved to Austin with Alberto the first time. He was moving when they were moving there. I was like, I just jumped on the bandwagon, and here we are. And that's where I met Dan and Pat, my 2 favorite people other than Brandon. We lost Pat. Pat's so introverted. I'm just so sorry that you're put on the spot. But I guess that's it, right? So, yeah, go get some dinner.